Good evening, boys and girls. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever the heck it is, wherever the heck you are. If it's your birthday, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
And welcome to the Lost Begotten channel. I am your host, as always, Fake TV's The Lost Begotten. And today, we are back. We are live. It's actually working. The channel, it lives! Okay, I'm done. I was enjoying myself for a second. I'm sorry. I do apologize. I know, actually enjoying myself and having a little fun. God forbid. And speaking of God forbidding, God forbid we should make some actual progress on the Trump-Russia investigation. It seems like we finally are, but I've said that before.
Well, it depends on which investigative unit you're talking about, and what part of the investigation you're talking about. Because, you know, the Senate Intelligence Committee couldn't get anywhere with the dossier.
Like, they take turns making a little bit of progress.
Right?
And then they backtrack.
But I guess that's the advantage to having so many different people looking into it. Because there's less likely that shit's gonna fall through the cracks.
But anyway, so we talk a lot about that on this channel, and this was the first channel to talk about it. In fact, this channel has been talking about it since my first video. All the things that I said you were missing and getting wrong, that's what I was talking about when I made the Lost Begotten's first rant. And recently, apparently, some Russian troll flagged me for spam.
From a video in March, no less.
There's apparently some employees at YouTube who need to be seen by the what was it from Office Space? The Dans, or was it the Bobs?
The Bobs.
The Bobs. They need to be seen by the Bobs. Okay. What is it you say you do here?
You know that was Cox, right?
Yes. Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Right?
Oh, God, I love it.
It was Dr. Cox.
Got it. All I have to do to make her laugh is God, I love it. Because there was this old lady at a grocery store that I worked who had Tourette's, and her husband had to calm me down every single time she passed me. Had to calm her down, excuse me. Her husband had to calm, they're like 70s, you know, like old people. Because she would pass me and start staring at me and trying to look away, and then just be like, God, I love it. God, I love it. Fuck! Just start cursing and just say, God, I love it.
Him, apparently.
I was a tall drink of water, I guess. I was clean cut and had a ponytail.
Yeah, he was baby face back then. No hair on the face.
Yeah, when I shave, I am pretty baby faced.
And then a gorgeously thick head of ponytail that he walked around with all the time. Enough to make any girl swoon, I kid you not.
Oh, that's dangerous, yeah.
Right? Very
dangerous. And as Zapardo's, I would braid it.
I've walked into many a table, many a chair, and many a wall in high school.
And Zapardo's is this proper Italian grocery store that used to be ran by the mob, okay? Old man Zapardo was a fucking mobster, alright? And the grocery clerks there wear white collared button-up shirts with these really nice fucking aprons, maroon aprons that say Zapardo's in cursive and white on the front. And you're wearing black slacks, and you got your fucking price gun holster, and you look like a professional fucking stock clerk, okay? So you know, it was odd, the level of flirtation that you'd get as a stock clerk in general at that fucking store, especially from old cougar looking bitches, man.
Well,
but she wasn't an old cougar. She was just this sweet looking old lady. Kind of looked like she might have used to been a hippie, right? Her poor old husband with his suspenders, he was all hunched over. Dear, calm down, dear. God, I love it.
But you have to
No,
understand,
Hold up, fuck you, my God.
Zapardo's is the oldest grocery store on that end of Metairie, and it's where everybody has always shopped since like the dawn of fucking time. So mainly when you go in there, you see old people with their grandkids.
I think it's older than Piggly Wiggly. Okay.
I think it's older than Dorniak's, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
And that's pretty fucking old.
It's as old as it gets.
It was probably the first grocery store that Metairie had.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
It's like,
They actually just
And
recently
they have a
upgraded
store
it.
in Gentilly, and they had a store on the West Bank.
But the one in Metairie got a paint job. I noticed it last time I went down there. It looks nice.
Gentilly store is some old, classy looking shit too. I only went there to make a delivery one time, or to pick something up actually. Oh, we're out of this meat. Can you put this in the back here? Oh, okay. My Integra was like a little pickup truck.
Looking at my eyeball.
Boy, I never minded being used as a worker. I was sitting there in an 88 Integra in the early 2000s. Fucking picking up a 50-pound case of beef for a grocery store, making $8 an hour. Jeez.
So your job paid better.
Just
than
in
my
retrospect,
job.
man, they were fucking. They were really getting their money's worth out of my dumb ass.
I got paid $7.25 an hour to dry clean people's clothes in a place that had very shitty AC in the dead of
Well,
summer.
that's not. I mean, this is after 5-6 years experience. I was making $8 an hour.
Yeah, I went back to the cleaners after a couple of years of gaining experience doing other things, and got hired back on at $7.50 as opposed to the $7.15 that I started out 3 years prior making.
Oh, I forgot to put a. Okay. I'm just gonna put live now at the Lost Begotten
Ooh, so is it
channel.
office gossip time?
Hold on.
Damn
I'm
it.
going to finish the whole intro process, and we're gonna do some
Whoa.
stuff. Yeah. Excuse me. So anyways, you might have noticed on the icon of the video.
I saw your ceiling for a second. That was pretty cool.
Alright. You might have noticed, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the icon on the video. Carlos, I believe, was the first. Was it Carlos? I think it was Carlos. First one to notice. That looks kind of like a Bible verse down there. Well, I had noticed that when I was a little amazing. Back when I was that exact age right there, 12 years old. And I knew one day I would understand my purpose. And that I did not need to bother reading that verse until then. And that when I read that verse then, I would understand it. And I would understand my purpose. Now that's me, fresh out of the ghetto in Houston, just got to New Orleans. And if you're sensing a I'll kill a motherfucker look in my eyes right there, it's because at that age, I'd kill a motherfucker. I just escaped from Houston. You know, like they say, escape from LA. I was like, yeah, I empathize with that. I escaped from the fucking Sharpstown, A-Leaf, and the Fifth Ward projects called Kentwood Village in Houston.
I survived the Ninth Ward in New Orleans.
Yes, you did. And we both survived fucking Bunch Village projects.
Yeah, there was a shooting across the street my first night there. Somebody was shot and killed in the alley.
Blood everywhere, too. Man. All
Yeah,
down,
it's horrible.
All down the sidewalk, down the driveway.
I heard
that
it.
right there.
I was just kind of like, I'm gonna lay on the couch real quiet.
That's my mama's car. That is a 1991 Peugeot sedan. The 302i or something like that? Hell. Oh, great. Some sort of rash has appeared on my arm. That's just what I need. Anyways. Yay, dealing with stray kittens and shit all day. Had to rescue a bunch from the front trailer. Anyway. So, that's my mama's car. And she would smoke cigarettes with the windows up, tailgating, screaming at traffic. My mom was kind of
Crazy.
a candle burning at both ends with TNT in the middle.
I was getting ready to say she did like the whole smoking with the windows up and tailgating and screaming at traffic up until like the end.
She's one of them drivers. I mean, like, and I can't even say one of them drivers because nobody really fucking drives like she did.
Oh.
She would accelerate right until the person who was in her way, she couldn't fucking wait any longer, and then she would slam on her brakes, making me lunge forward in my fucking seatbelt. Bitch is crazy. And I love her and I miss her. And she was my mama, but I got my mean from her. And that's a lot of mean. My mom is the only person I've ever witnessed attack 2 police officers.
Sorry.
It's as funny as it sounds. It was as funny as it sounds. I cannot look back on that memory
I've
and not just like want to play it for people so that they can laugh at it. Now, my mom passed away recently. Those of you who are subscribed and have been for a while know about that. And there's my wife at the tree of my ancestors.
Itty bitty speck.
That is the tree of Acadiana, basically. And that's some Persian royals who were given refuge a long time ago in France. And they lived in the south of France. And were later driven from Europe, from the parts of Italy, Sicily, France, and Spain, where they had settled. And they first went to Canada, apparently, allegedly, and then came here. I think they went here first, personally. I think they got burned out of the marshes, then went to Canada, then came back. But that's just my theory. I don't have any reference to cite for that. And I've connected this family to a pretty much forgotten religion called Yohanism. which centers around both my identity and the fact that basically John the Baptist was the Messiah. And there was a false Christ that came after him, claiming to be Jesus. And another one claiming that he was friends with Jesus, and that he talked to Jesus. And what I've discussed in theory is that a hidden aspect of Yohanism is that it venerated both John and his wife, Mary Magdalene. And that technically the two combined are actually Jesus, which is Proto-Gaelic or Galilean, which was a Gaulish settlement of Gaels from Gaul, also known as France, who spoke Gaelic, later to become French. Okay, so this is a Proto-Gaelic dialect, basically pre-Gaelic. And just like Gaelic, and just like French, I am is pronounced a lot like Jesus. Later to be adopted by the Proto-Latins, or should I say Proto-Italians, Lombards, named for a military task that they were given. They were grenadiers, a settlement of grenadier regiments, basically, that became the Lombardies, and they took over Italy. But anyways, that's my memory mixed with known history. Now, coming from Galilee, Jesus was rejected by the Semitic Judean tribe, represented by the Pharisees, because they said, how can you be the Messiah? How can you be a son of David? You're just the son of a carpenter from Galilee. Implying you're a white man. Okay, that's what I've revealed. That's my memories mixed with known history. And I've revealed many other things from my memories that actually make a lot more sense of known history, if you ask anyone who's actually bothered to take a look what I've had to say on this channel. And I make, dare I say, a unique and possibly a priceless contribution to the understanding of mankind as a whole. What do you think, Max? Not to put you on the spot or anything.
Yes. I'm sorry that connection.
Oh, and he cut out.
What were you saying?
Go ahead and get in the chat. Let's cut off the video call just in case it's screwing up the broadcast. We can't understand what you're saying. Go ahead and get in the chat, bro. Peace. So we were trying to voice conference or hangout conference Max, so we wouldn't have to sit there and type. But apparently we're gonna have to go back to that. But I do want to start mixing it up more like I had intended to. I need to like make myself some shortcuts so I don't like feel crazy about it and just click on what's there. Need to find out a way to script a shortcut for a Google Hangouts broadcast. That'd be cool. problem is it doesn't want to use the right fucking browser, which is why I have to script it. Anyway. So, basically, my story, as promised on this channel, has eventually tied into the present story that mankind faces. Because my story involves infiltrators and chauvinistic, this is key, chauvinistic usurpers of history. From what I used to point out to people was called the Land of Nod. And they used to tell me that, and nobody has told me in this lifetime, in response, the argument they made at the time, in my previous lifetime, was that the Land of Nod no longer exists, and you are blasphemous for saying that it exists because of the flood reshaping the earth. Well, to this, and to this day, I still reply, Nod means up. Where is up? North. Go to any coast, average out the terrain and seek altitude. Any coast in the land of Asia, Eurasia. And you are facing north. Magnetic north. Mountains atop a monstrous plateau. In Gaul, north now is called east. France, excuse me. And Gaul was not the word we called it back then, by the way. Gaul was what the Romans called it. Because I led a rebellion from there. And anyone who called it Gaul as a historian from then on knew it as the usurpers knew it as knew it as the usurpers knew it. They knew it as a covering up of a revelation. And at the time, and before this, the sons of a transsexual from Transylvania, named Heth, who was a warlord incarnation of the former goddess Hathor, quote goddess. also as the sons of Medusa, because this warlord had a daughter. One evil, actually $2. One evil, one goodly. Oh, I'm sensing a Spanish Inquisition moment. $3. Two evil, one goodly. No one expects a Spanish Inquisition. I am currently treating my fucking arm with tea tree oil right now, so I'm a little bit distracted, sorry. Okay. That really fucking... I don't know what the hell happened there. That's itching like hell. What the hell is on my arm? Kitten, what have you done to me? I know it's not your fault. You do good little kitty. Okay. Sorry, distracted.
Take it.
Good day, Paulie. Welcome, welcome. So, long story short, and feel free to binge watch and see the saga unfold. But please do view the ads from our sponsors at least one time. And see who has blessed us with, you know, a few pennies here and there. It's all we make on this channel. So I really do appreciate anybody sitting through at least 30 seconds of an ad you haven't seen before. Unless it's really annoying. Then by all means skip it. But,
Or, you know, use it as a perfect time to go to the bathroom.
there you go. Bathroom break.
Bathroom break.
Let it give you some
Coffee
little messages
break,
that'll make you buy
snack
stuff
break.
later. Oh. So, we'd appreciate your subscriptions. We appreciate you liking videos for us, sharing them on Facebook, Twitter, and other social media apps that aren't possibly hacked by Russia and stuff like that, you know. And ones who are, I don't care. The more links, the better, man. The more links, the better. And stay tuned for some, what was it? Hashtag law gossip. A new segment we're going to be doing here on the Lost Begotten channel, in which we don't name any names, but give you some juicy tidbits from real life legal cases happening in Baton Rouge. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
leave you by my side the day I die. 'Cause baby, ecstasy is in my hand. Oh, when I'm holding yours in mine and walking in the sand. Oh, baby, you know it's fine. Now you done and pissed me off. You went done something you shouldn't have done. Baby, I'm mad. I'm going on. Oh, I'm going on.
Wait, why is a raptor trying to sing along? Stupid Jurassic Park extras. Well, it's time to get on with it, isn't it? It's time for some news and stuff. And it's time for hashtag law gossip. But first, a little more channel promo. If you haven't seen it, please do feel free to take out this For Thomas's list, which starts with a very interesting video that occurs as a clip that I made with my cell phone while replaying from here, from this list, a live broadcast in which the lightning struck the house and the power went out on the live stream. All the lights, everything, the screen went off, everything went off. And I kept broadcasting. And you can see the, magic words that I used to do so by watching that video. And several other different little things that you might have a easy time understanding, or you might need a little bit of mystic knowledge to understand, but there are some that I make it painfully obvious for you to be able to see what's what and see that, I'm not bullshitting, I'm not faking things with timing or anything like that. Then you have just a little selection of different people, and I have tried to use the official source videos on here as best I can, but I don't think I was successful in all of them. But when you've had enough of this channel and just want to take time to reflect on the information you absorb when you go back and see my first warnings back as soon as I made this channel, and see how much danger this country's in, freedom itself is in, take a break by watching this playlist or listening to this playlist. It's a particular selection of songs which I think are worth reflecting upon in context. So now,
Oh, I had red hair.
yes,
Holy
I miss
shit.
your red hair. I like your red hair. Still think you should have gone a little more auburn though. A little more natural. Anyways, now Maximo for hashtag law gossip. Wait, I want to make an icon for it.
Oh god.
Go ahead, start talking.
Alright. So, There once was a couple from Nantucket. No. There's a elderly couple come in to do an adoption, and the wife doesn't look too happy about this whole process at all. She's real irritated, real just like clammed up. Sit down, we're talking about it, and come to find out that this couple had been married for 35, 40 years. And, well, let's just say they are adopting his 20-year-old daughter's child. So, needless to say, she's not happy about this whole thing. So that in and of itself kind of just left that alone, you know. That's just kind of is what it is, right? But had me wondering, like, okay, so if you're this bitter about adopting this kid, why didn't you just leave him, right? Divorce him after he messed around on you. You had grounds for divorce right there, right? Well, she comes in and hands me a will and an envelope. And got told, oh yeah, you're supposed to be drafting that up. Oh, okay. So I open it and I start reading it to figure out where to start, because the way we draft up a will is not like your typical what you see a will looking like on TV. And I'm reading through this, and she's got provisions in her will that so Louisiana is a community property state. So that means if you don't sign essentially a separate property agreement before you get married, everything that you purchase, whether you purchase it together or not, in the marriage, is considered both persons' property. That's debt included. So, like, if I were to go and take out a $50,000 loan and default on it, my Murphy's here is still responsible for half. Even if we get divorced, he's responsible for half. Half, Eddie, half.
Well, so responsible I will be. In Mexico.
So, there is no separate community property agreement here. However, if you have a will, you can dictate what happens to your crap. So, if you purchase property while in a marriage, both parties own a 50% interest, a 1/2 interest in the property. And it gets split down the line, so on and so forth. Generally speaking, say I died, the husband would inherit.
Stop using us as a fucking example.
I'm just saying.
Someone died.
Okay, so someone dies, the other party.
You are not superstitious enough.
I am not. No, I'm
Fuck.
not. I don't believe in that shit.
Annoying.
That's fucking super cis bullshit.
Yeah, okay. Says the magical people.
Anyhow. So, one person dies.
Go ahead, poke it with a stick some more, see what happens.
And there are 2 kids, right? So, half of that half that you own goes to your surviving spouse. The other half of your interest gets divided between your kids. So it gets like all messy, and further down the line you get like the more tiny people's portions are. So this woman has essentially written her husband out of her will. He gets none of her half interest in any of the property that they share together. It all goes to her daughter and her granddaughter, who she loves with all her heart. And anyway, so you can tell throughout this will that this woman is just bitter by the way that she's kind of divvying everything off, right? And then she gets to the part about her funeral. She don't want a funeral. She wants to be dressed up and buried. Doesn't want a preacher. saying a prayer over her, doesn't want a ceremony,
Hmm.
doesn't want nobody crying over her because ain't nobody was there for her while she was alive. Literally.
bruh.
It says it in her will. Like, I shit you not. I read it like 3 times. Just to make sure I was reading it right.
Wow.
Like, so you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know whether to laugh or cry when I see her. Like, cause like, she's a bad bitch with the same respect. It's like, God, I feel so bad for you that, like, this is what you've put up with all this time. So that's the law gossip for tonight. I ain't had too much interesting other shit going on.
No further developments with the old Chinese guy of science.
No, his case doesn't come up until, I think, we pushed it back to next month. When we actually have to go, the end of this month or beginning of next month. He still owes us, though. He has not finished paying us.
Oh, jeez.
Well, and see, this is the whole reason Boss Lady doesn't take payment plans anymore, because, you know, she gets all into the case, and you really can't stop once you got the ball rolling, but then the client stops paying you, and then you're stuck out. That's why we don't do that shit anymore. She, like, very rarely does it for people who have been clients for a very long time, which, unfortunately, this Chinese man has. So,
I'm having way too much fun with the
I
sparkles, aren't I?
see that. It's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, I'll finish it then. I was just gonna stop that.
I'm kind of interested in the chat seems to be going on without us, though. I can't, like...
I got a thing going here.
I knew you got a thing going. Can you scroll down for 2 seconds?
Almost done. Almost done. Oh, come on, you boy. You dirty little slut, get in there. Yeah, you just wanted me to call him a dirty little slut, I know.
Well, that, and I just read Maximo's comment. Hashtag law gossip for the hashtag cats like me. Meow. Hey, Misha. You giving yourself a secondary bath? Oh, wait. Oh, and then my theory. Hold on. My theory about why the lady has not... I skipped a part of the will. They have 7 properties between here and New Orleans.
Well, that's
Yeah. Like 2 in New Orleans and 5 out this way.
Alright, try to think of something else quick so we don't waste the icon.
Other attorneys suck. No, like, really. Like, state attorneys, apparently, especially, suck. We were, like, fighting to get a case continued because we're in a different parish that day. We have 3 cases in the Felicianas, and somehow we had a criminal case that got
Wait, no,
scheduled.
wrong icon.
Somehow we got a criminal case got scheduled on the same day, and the bullshit attorney wouldn't even return our calls to say she objected. I happened to be calling the law clerk to get some potential court dates for another case, and she goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, such and such wanted me to let y'all know that she does object to changing the court date." I'm like, couldn't have called us back, like, with the hundreds of times we were calling? So that, like, is really shitty. What? What little princess? You should have a picture of Misha laying on top of that. Law gossip with, like, a picture of her laying, and we can, like, Photoshop her on top of it.
I have made a new MS Paint graphic, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so does that conclude?
Yes, this concludes today's
Hashtag Law
Law
Gossip
Gossip.
with Kira Lady.
Yes, we have gotten streaming back after appealing the dumb shittedness that is fucking trolls that want to report bullshit.
Thanks for joining us, Alf. Yes, I'm going to call you Alf because I miss that show.
Right, that was such
I don't really
awesome
miss the show. I miss the character. I wanted to be friends with Alf. Like, I want an Alf. Do we have an Alf?
I will find us an elf. Can't guarantee it's gonna talk, but
Maybe we should just give up on humanity and create Melmac. I'm kidding. Don't get nervous, Alf. Don't get nervous. I haven't given up yet. Hint, hint. Let's say no more.
that really is all sparkly and cute.
I try. I was channeling New Orleans airbrush artists.
I was getting ready to say I've had a couple airbrush shirts that look similar to that.
I didn't mean to be so uniform left and right, but I'm not hating it. Yeah.
No, it looks good. If I could do one little critique, I would have used a different font.
Yeah.
I would have used like the cursive calligraphy
No, but
font.
it's law gossip.
But it's law
That's
gossip.
the one serious thing about it is the font. Yeah.
Okay,
It works.
touche. I'll concede. Kitten, how do you have sharp claws already? I cut your nails today.
So yes, earlier today,
Why are you licking me?
I sensed.
A disturbance in the force?
Yes, I sensed the disturbance in the force. And who the hell can say I'm spam? This is like the most fucking weird, all-encompassing YouTube channel. Like, look at all this just random crap that I put on here. It's like, you could accuse me of being ADD, but you can't accuse me of being spam. Spam is internet blasphemy, okay? They have accused me of internet blasphemy. It's just not right, dude. I'm not a troll. I'm not a spammer. And for some reason today was the day that I thought, let me just look that up. I think it's time. And I remembered the moment at this rather bizarre house that my mom was staying in. When I first saw that license plate, first had that thought. But now we're back.
Guess who's back? Back again.
And they set up false witnesses which said, this man ceaseth not to speak blasphemous words against this holy place and the law. For we have heard him say that Jesus of Nazareth shall destroy this place, and shall change the customs which Moses delivered unto us. And all that sat in the council, looking steadfastly on him, saw his face as it had been the face of an angel. And what happened? What happened then? Does anybody know? Did they see his face? This face. Did they see his face? 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 But seriously, they saw. According to the Bible, do you believe in the Bible? Do you believe that there are true words written here? They saw his face like it had been the face of an angel. Did they at once fall to their knees and repent? Did they say, oh, shit, now I know? Oh, what, you're not thinking of a face that looks like a face on the clouds, you're thinking of maybe a face that glows? Go watch that video. I'm the only thing lighting up the screen. The power was out. That really happens on this channel. I think it's weird. Don't get me twisted. I can get caught up in my own character. But when I take a moment to think about it, I'm like, man, this is fucking weird. Okay, so in a lot of respects, I'm still right there with you when it comes to the way you probably react to this at first. But the people who've known me for a long time, the people who've been subscribed for a long time, they have an easier time accepting me than I do. And you know what? That's consistent also with what's written in the Bible. And that also is weird and creepy for me. Because that, it means I don't have any way out. I can't just not be me anymore. Because over and over again, even my very doubts confirm who I am. Earlier, I sensed that they correctly understood that this was screwed up. This was tyranny. Okay? And this is going to the FBI and to the Senate committees. This is going to the Secret Service. And they need to learn how to play nice and prove that at the corporate level, at the managerial level, that they are not a bunch of traitors up there at YouTube. They need to prove that they are good people, that there are good people there, and maybe a few of them have been doing some screwed up shit underneath other people's noses. But if something like this was allowed to stand, this would be evidence that that was not the case. And when I first heard about YouTube, I thought it was a great idea, but I still had a bad feeling about it. And I was right in both respects. It's a great idea. YouTube is a great idea. It's got a great, amazing, I mean, just amazing YouTube is, as far as the technological feat of people being able to stream live, especially, but being able to upload videos and you know, the way it's supposed to work. And it could be a force for good, but it has been a force for evil. And that is certainly not everyone at YouTube's fault. That is certainly not YouTube's shareholders' fault. And I would think it's something that YouTube's shareholders would be very interested in as well. That their investment has been used as a tool for political harassment of centrists and patriots and basically just normal fucking Americans. Not just me. I'm not special in this. The way this played out on my channel was for a purpose. That purpose will be made clear. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And in so doing, I have used my channel not to promote myself, not to make money, but with the understanding that, according to the rules here, I should make money by providing original content, and by providing original content, I will make money for YouTube. And I have more than fulfilled my obligation. I am the most unique channel on YouTube.
I would say so.
There is none like me. Oh wait,
Your flavor sauce.
that's in the Bible. The Bible was talking about my YouTube channel.
Your flavor sauce. Swalala.
My flavor is so swalala. I'm green like an artichoke. My flavor is so swalala. I am a vegetable. There is none like me. I'm green like an artichoke. My flavor is so swalala. If you haven't seen that, don't. It's Okay, I get it, YouTube. I get it. Yeah. Why don't you tell your manager? Why don't you tell your manager what you're doing to somebody who could be making lots of money for YouTube? That's what I'm trying to do here, YouTube. I am an honest businessman. You know, on top of everything else that I am an honest businessman with a very good marketing sense. Okay? I know how to sell. I know how to entertain. And it is financially irresponsible, and in fact, almost proof of a lack of a corporate for-profit model that YouTube would single me out for suppression. Is everybody back? Well, the thing was red. I tried to just go, I am a vegetable. There is none like me. I'm green like an artichoke. My flavor is so swalala. But yes, I was talking about how this channel is not internet blasphemy. This channel is not against this place. This channel is not against the rules of this place. This channel is not meant to destroy YouTube in any way. Let me get the graphic back up. In case you want to read it some more. It's in a folder called Lawsuit. Yeah. So just read the particulars on there, and I'm gonna read from the Bible, and I'm gonna go line by line, and from Acts 6:13 again. Let's see the photo. From 1992 or 3, I don't fucking know, maybe 94. I'm like 12 years old, man, okay? Acts 6:13. I'm going to continue, then I'm going to read it word for word again. So they set up false witnesses, which said, "This man seeketh not to speak blasphemous." Troll flagging, okay. That I'm a spammer. That I've been spamming against YouTube, basically. Okay. In addition, if the main purpose of your content is to drive people off YouTube and onto another site, it will violate our spam policies. That's what it says right there.
Oh, I know.
Blasphemous words against this holy place and the law. The law of this place. For you have heard him say that Jesus of Nazareth shall destroy this place. You have heard me say, in third person, that God will put an end to you. Yes. Semi-speaking on my own behalf, but speaking in third person, because it is not by my power. But by spirit. And shall change the customs. The false witness is saying I'm trying to change the customs of YouTube. Get it? Okay. Of the social order of the time, of the social order of the subject. And now, like I said, all of this is a broader metaphor for everything that's been done here. Okay. But I find it fascinating how particular it is to what's happened on YouTube. And I'm going line by line just to show why I'm tickled by it so much. Because this is a turning point where we start winning, if my instincts are correct. So, whereas a lot of times things that prove me to be me depress me, I'm trying to stay optimistic here. A little bit, at least. The customs which Moses delivered unto us. What has this channel also been about? Regarding customs which Moses delivered unto us. Old covenant, new covenant? That phrase should sound familiar by now. That's me pointing out the fulfillment of the old covenant in the new covenant. It doesn't do away with it, but it does change it. It is the fulfillment. It is the original intent. The ultimate objective, right? Well, what was the original intent of YouTube? What was the original objective? Doesn't my channel hold more true to that claim than a lot of channels? Isn't my channel actually less spamming? When you actually think about what YouTube is supposed to be, my channel is simply standing for that. Okay? Anybody disagree? Anybody want to tell me why I'm wrong? Please comment. I have been begging to hear reasoned arguments to anything I claim. So let's read it again in full context. Acts 6:8. Stephen arrested. And Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the people. No, because I said the word Stephen. Stephen, Bobevin, Banana, Fana, Fofeven, me, my, Moveven, Stephen. Faggot, Bobaggot, Banana, Fana, Okay. Y'all done hacking me yet? It doesn't matter what you do. When are you children going to realize this? Waiting for the red to go away. That's all you're accomplishing. It's just making me wait for the red to go away. Oh yeah. And proving my case.
Whoops.
So, let's see what these apostles do. Then there arose a certain of the synagogue. Oh, excuse me, I'll read it again since it went red. Stephen arrested, and Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the people. Stephen, right? Stephen. Then there arose a certain of the synagogue, who is called the synagogue of the Libertines, and the Cyrenians, and Alexandrians, and of them of Sicilia, and of Asia, disputing with Stephen. And they were not able to resist the wisdom and the spirit by which he spake. They suborned men which said, "We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God." And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes and came upon him and caught him and brought him into the council. So you have just a retelling of what Jesus did, and you have an insert of, oh, this guy named Stephen did this stuff. Banana. Why is that still? Wow. Still. My AMD A8 quad-core Athlon 4 with Radeon graphics is having high CPU usage for doing nothing. Okay. Oh yes. This is really a challenge for it. Look at this. Look at this rapid graphics that it's having to put out. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at the amazing 3D effects. Okay, never mind. But he was still trogged on. Oh, and then Stephen addressed the Sanhedrin. Did you know that? Stephen addressed the Sanhedrin. But so very much like the baby Jesus, it says, "And they set up false witnesses, which said, This man ceaseth not to speak blasphemous words against this holy place and the law. For we have heard him say that this Jesus of Nazareth," this is the whole reason for the false identity put in front of it, is for the lack of understanding of the third person, which you now understand because you've heard me speak in third person. "For we have heard him say that this Jesus of Nazareth shall destroy this place, and shall change the customs with which Moses delivered unto us." Shall destroy the world and change the laws by which it exists. And all that sat in that council, looking steadfastly on him, saw his face as it had been the face of an angel. Oh wow. Chapter 7 of Acts is a lesson much like the lesson I teach on this channel. Then said the high priests, "Are these things so?" Stephen addresses the Sanhedrin. Stephen. What the fuck is that? And he said, "Men, brethren, and fathers, hearken. The God of glory appeared unto our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Charan." Charan is the burnt land, also known as Sinai. Let's see, did Uncle Henry pick that up? No, Uncle Henry didn't have a note for that. I wonder if most people know where Charan is. So, the first thing that I would point out, the first thing that I interjected when reading that just now, and that's before I came down here and read this and realized what he was saying. I'd read just Stephen addresses the Sanhedrin. I didn't really look down further than that. The third person thing. The meaning of the word Jesus. I am. Now, Nazareth. Na Zaruth, as in Zarathustra, as in Zoroaster. Oh, but no one listens to Zathras. Poor Zathras. Nazareth. Na. What does Na mean in Slavic? Kind of like piss off, I would think. Don't even.
I was getting ready to say it's more or less used in conjunction with something.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, you're along the right lines.
Banana. What is na in Chinese? Max? Or any Eastern dialect that comes to mind? Because I want to prove the Bible actually says what I say it says, not what most people think it says. Yeah. It can mean above, it can mean with, it can mean rotating around. It can mean far away. Right? Naga. Very good. The Naga were the good ones, though, right? Naga. Ga, being sons of Gog, or sons of Garmael, which is the original dragon of fear. So the wise ones related to similar, but good, right? There was Nagashi and Nagashidaya, right? Or is that, am I speaking an older language than the Vedas are? If so, my bad, yo.
Whoops.
I had to say it like that, just like that. It's not even that old of a language. I was trying to get in the middle tongue, but apparently the middle tongue is expired with Middle Earth or something. I don't know. So it does appear to be some sort of, if not physical, then metaphorical preposition prefix. Okay. Nazaruth. It can even mean son of. I don't think it means that here, but it can even mean son of. Nazareth, in that context, would be son of God. Because one of the prevailing deities referred to simply as God at the time was Zarathustra. Now, I know that most forms of worship that that's a good one. Most forms of worship that reference Zarathustra seem to be worshiping a form of Gabriel, which I have said in the past and I will say now. It's fine. Gabriel's a good teacher. He's a benevolent trickster. Just like many good parents. But the phrase Jesus, Jesus Nazareth, it's to say the words I am in Gaelic, and then to say Son of God in Babylonian.
Misha, don't eat the Bible. I know you can't have my bride's cake ice cream.
She is such a little obnoxious shit.
Right.
Oh, see, this is why I love having Max around. It really was fate that you're here, Max. Exactly, like, dude, every step you took in your life was for God's plan. How does that feel? People should be jealous of Max. They really should. He not only got to journey and, like, you know, have like a cool, like what most people would consider a cool life, right?
Well, that's what I'm eating. So
But,
either
like,
you take it or you leave me the fuck alone. I think so.
Apparently the kitten's cooler, but Maximo is almost as cool as a kitten.
No, Maximo is very cool.
But none of us are. We learned that none of us are cool as Neville. Because Neville can flip his fucking camera upside down and just make us all laugh hysterically. That's just, anybody who has that easy of a trick is just, too cool for school. Anyway, but Max, all of your travels, bro, all of your travels, where you are right now, everything, has made you into the perfect fucking helper for the shit that I try to figure it out, that we try to figure out. And man, just thank you. I want to thank you. I just wanted to say that, express that clearly, and thank you. And Kira burped, so I think that's a thank you too.
Yes. That's how we do in the old country.
That's Opa!
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 I love you. Come here. Little shit. Come do snuggle time with me. No, be
So, yeah.
snuggly. Get your butt out of my face.
I want to finish reading from chapter 7, and as soon as I get done with that, we'll get done with that, and then we'll do Final Fantasy. But first, let me see what the hell you just wrote, Max. Okay, so what we've previously talked about as far as the word Nazia, or Nazi, is that it means nationalist in Slavic languages. It was not an acronym. Usually when they don't want you to know what a word is, like fuck. Okay. Fuck is a magical curse. It means to smite. Okay. When you say bitch and shit and tit and cunt, you're just cussing. When you say fuck, you actually are cursing. It's something I've been in denial of in my life, but these days I'm a little too angry for most people's own good. Well, the ones who piss me off, anyways. So Max has Naze means Naze means why, Nami means tears. Naru. Nani means what? Naru means to become. Huh. Resistance. That's right as I thought. I was like, I remember being named Naru. And then I saw Nami name. They had to be given that word. It was taken from them. And they were all slaves. Anyways, why Nazi? Why tears? So what are some of those root words like ze or me or ru or ni? Ni. I know that knights say that.
We are the knights who say me.
Maybe we could do some more of a context. So anyways, Yeshuth Nazareth, a combination of Gaelic and Babylonian. But possibly fully Gaelic? Here's an idea. Coming up. Let's try. Google is fucking broken. That's. Ah, look, there it is. Firnati. Firnat. That just sounds so natural. A chemical element in sodium. It comes from its Latin name natrium. Oh, salt, yeah, salt water. Yeah, show the fucking answer. Of. It means of. So just basic preposition, and now the fucking page is broken. Oh, look, and this is broken too. Great. So, Gaelic.
Gaelic?
Na
Garlic?
means of in Gaelic. I wanted to say that outright, but I didn't want to, like, be wrong, you know? Make that bold of a claim.
You're such a little shit, but you're so fucking cute. She's found my tassel.
Okay, so now that we're back into the green, na simply means of in Gaelic. Na Zaruth. Of Zaruth. Nazareth. Of Zareth. So let's translate my memories as a prince given shelter after his betrothed was murdered in the East. In exchange, I taught them how to develop their own language that was separate from the slave tongue they spoke. This is a completely different time than when I taught people how to speak that had no idea how to speak, but I remember that very clearly too. So, Naze means of mystery. Na-mi means of the ocean. Naru means of dragons. Nani kind of means what's that, but like of what? Like ni is actually what means what. Or a thing. Oh, let's look up ni in Gaelic. How about that? It means we are the knights who say ni. Ni. What? I said ni. Ni. Where did it autocorrect me? Ni. It came out to meaning thing. It's like I know. I have never looked this up in my life. I swear. Oh, I swear to God. I swear to chocolate. Okay.
That's a pretty deep swear.
If anybody's having any doubts of whether, he shouldn't be swearing, but the lesson yes means yes means no means no. Well, I do all the time. I'm just saying it for emphasis right now, because of the level of this revelation here and how simple it would have been for me to have known this ahead of time. I understand that, but I didn't. And you may not even believe I believe in God, but you know I believe in chocolate, baby. God, I want some chocolate right now. Give me thing. Fucker. No human translation has been found? No human translation? Human translation?
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Right? Who wrote that? What are you, a human? Where's Sean Conway when we need him? Fuck. He's gonna be tearing this shit up later. Remind me to make him moderator if he wants. I'll let him upload something about this shit. So, see, the roots are phonetic. They indicate movement of key. Yes. Just the way I would teach a language. I'm familiar with. It's very chemetic. Chemetic. Now that you're telling me these different words, like the way they break down into root parts, God, it's really making me want to learn more Japanese. The only one I knew there was money. Many theories to the root of Japanese word. That's not surprising. No, which part? Huh. Wow. Yeah, that's where it comes from. It all comes from Kemet. Met means gathering place, cathedral, dome, congress. It means congress, basically. And ka, key, or ka, or k. It's actually a schwa. It's not actually a ka. Hmm?
It's easy.
It's easy, Ka means spirit. Ka, iluma, alael. With those words, the universe was born. Spirit, I see you. And then the spirit said,
This is strange. I see you, Jenny.
not word for word, but it's close enough. You said, I see you, too. In English.
This is how you talk as a British.
Yes, you spoke as a British. No, in English. You're the first angel. Angle. Who I was speaking to was the being I had just created, which was Gabriel. All those that are created between me and him to form those angles are called angels. The ones at the top are called archangels. Oh, that's interesting. You should really find some random scholar out there in the East somewhere that, like, it's like, you know it's going to happen. You got to figure out who it is. You know what I'm talking about. We're just going to be all up in the business.
All up in the Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't look like my coral freaked out as much when I lowered the salinity too fast thanks to the pressure being dropped down around here. It feels like a storm for them.
There is one a-coming.
Yeah.
Hurricanes are coming. Apparently. Our gas station's out of gas.
Excuse me. Anyway. Yay, black mold. Terminal allergy season in my house. Wrong word. Perpetual allergy. So anyways, let me just summarize. That verse, Acts 7, then goes into a lesson about Joseph and about how people should be treating one another. As he means to justify the fulfillment of the covenant and whatnot. After responding to the invocation of the phrase Jesus of Nazareth, which is in Gaelic, referring to the Galilean, his words that the Galilean John the Baptist said when referring to I am that I am, Son of God. Yep. Son of even their God. Meant to inherit all. Son of Sam. Son of Man. Son of the kings of men and of the kings of heaven. Son of the kings of David, of Persia, and Macelania. even son of the kings of Africa. That's me, even in this body, with this blood I carry now. Last name, Morris. Huh. Yeah, so when they come up with a positive, they prove something right, and you get to let them know that they've proven something right? Is that how you're doing it, Max? That's clever. See what he said?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the way I've been doing it with you. Shit. Like, wait, let me hold up what I don't know yet. Or I just guess. I just fucking just say what I think is so for no damn reason. Like, Max, does that make a fucking lick of sense? You've actually been there. Tell this naive southern white man what the hell he's talking about. Convince me I'm a crazy person, please. Nope, afraid I can't do that. You happen to actually make sense.
Damn it.
You know, I enjoy this whole being the one to make sense of everything. That's cool. Being a clueless moron, that really doesn't appeal to me. And I don't even mind the limited recognition. I wouldn't even mind being like behind the scenes informing people who like want to do the talking. Okay. But it'd be really nice if I got paid for this shit.
Life's a bitch until you die.
For fuck's sake. I was channeling Daniel Jackson again. We get paid for this, right?
I see this right.
In his case, no, yes, but in my case, no. I love how she looks like she's got conditioner in her hair.
She feels like
Tea tree oil. Good shit. So, thanks for tricks from all the tricksters. Yes. I really wish I could remember more of my encounter in a human body in the mountains as I just kind of like walked away from everybody else with this old black guy. That seems very similar to I think it's like Krishna meeting with Vishnu or something like that in the mountains. Like forearms and shit. But I only heard somebody speak of that in a movie or something. And it reminded me of this memory. And I've been wanting to remember more of the memory before I go and do the research. Right? When you say trickster, that's who comes to mind.
I guess I've just seen Moana one too many times.
Yeah, she's thinking of Maui. Of course, you know, I've been a trickster a time or two. Yeah, so, okay. I think I've actually taught the correction before because instead of remembering specifics, I'm remembering teaching about this before. So, the young man went into the mountains, and he did not meet a being with 4 arms. He met a being who tested him physically, mentally, spiritually, and socially. And each one of those 4 aspects of the test are represented by the 4 arms. And I just remember teaching that way. That was weird. I think that's happened to me before on the channel. Is that I'm having deja vu. Where I was trying to remember something and instead I remember teaching about it before, so apparently I've had a lifetime since then, you know? Where I was teaching about a previous lifetime. It's fascinating. I still got a human brain, y'all. Apparently a human speech impediment too. Human brain that's been stomped on by linebacker looking motherfucker. Anyways. So, until I check my emails and see if I have some sort of guidance or can get some sort of guidance on whether or not I'm annoying YouTube by streaming the fair use commentaries. I mean, people are abusing the Fair Use Act. I think I'm properly using the Fair Use Act by playing news and reacting to it and adding my expert opinion to different things. And yes, I consider myself an expert. Ha ha ha. But, you know, I don't have a piece of paper that says I'm an expert. But anybody want to argue with me? Bring it on. But before I have yet another ADD moment, we're going to call it a broadcast, I think. Really. Do you know what story I'm talking about, though, right? It's, God, I'm having to think of, like, this little cutaway scene in a movie where this guy's telling about how Krishna goes up into the mountains, and there's this old guy that's, like, he looks like a black guy in the movie. But I guess it's still supposed to be just a regular, Indonesian guy. That's not what the kids are calling it these days, I know. But, and he's got 4 arms, and he, like, plays tricks on either the prince who people think is Krishna, an incarnation of Krishna, and this guy in his telling, he believes it was an incarnation of Krishna, right? And I don't even know what fucking movie it was, but it's that movie that I huh. But you know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm aware that it's considered to be a well-known story in Hinduism. Or Hinduism. Not Hinduese. Tendonites. It lives. I would think as much of a fable. Huh. Interesting as well. But I would think as much of a fable as that is that it would qualify as a preternatural dimension, like the Billy Goat's Gruff dimension, like all the other little fairy tale lesson moral fabric dimensions that children dream of as they're developing their moral cores, as they're facing their soul's tests. Basically, like review tests, like you get at the beginning of the school year, you get them towards the beginning of your life to remind you of who you are. Make sense? At the beginning of the school year, they give you tests to make sure you learned everything you learned in the past few years. Early in your childhood, you have these dreams that test whether or not the lessons you learned in your previous lives are lessons that you truly learned, or whether or not you need to repeat them in this life. Alright. So, I think that's been fascinating enough for now, don't you? Like, damn. Sometimes we go into a broadcast just not expecting anything, and just like, every time there's a little something, but sometimes it's, whew. It's a reminder of why we have this YouTube channel. And I didn't even mean for this big of a mystery to start unfolding itself. Or this many mysteries to start unfolding themselves. But, the name of the man in the mountains was Zarathustra. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. So have fun researching that, because now we have in my memory, a Babylonian connection between Zoroaster and the man who taught an incarnation of Krishna. And Jesus of Nazareth. That, dare I say, no one's ever detected before. So yes, if you enjoy high quality discussions with intelligent people, If you enjoy spiritual topics, political, engineering, natural, I run a marine fish room. I am a expert racing driver, and the few video games I play, I'm an expert tactician in those. And I try to be entertaining on this channel. But even if all that bores you, I hope you appreciate what makes this channel priceless is the truth that we find out here. It's not to exalt me. It's the salvation of mankind through forgiveness of each other and ultimate peace. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please click the like button and please subscribe if you haven't already. If you are a subscriber, do check your subscription, because subscriptions tend to disappear around here. Also, the little ding bell, and hopefully you'll be notified if you broadcast it. Say goodbye, Mark. Thank you.
Lord, it takes my pain back to breathe out of another thing. I know, oh Lord, I know it's in my heart and baby down in my soul. You, baby, you can't take it no more. No, I know I'm walking out that door the way you treated me too many times before. Don't you know you love me, baby, too? Oh, you know I want you there, I want to be right there with you. I know I gotta keep you by my side today I die. 'Cause baby, ecstasy is in my hand. Oh, when I'm holding yours in mine and walking in the sand. Oh, baby, you know it's fine. Oh, now you done and piss me off. You ain't done something you shouldn't have done. Baby, I'm mad. I'm going on. Oh, I'm going on.
Coming up next, another live broadcast that we're going to be continuing from personal experience on Warhammer. If you missed the past podcasts, the Final Fantasy installment, you can find them there.